Alright, hi, hello. Today we are doing another video essay that I took most of today writing. So recently Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift got engaged. That's what inspired this video. Among all the happy posts about them and some less happy posts about Taylor Swift being close to MAGA, there were posts about the Gaylors and their reaction to the engagement. And you guys know me, I love queer media, I love queer fandom spaces, I love anything gay. So I decided I had to check this out. If any of my information is incorrect, feel free to correct me in the comments. This is also not going to be me shitting on Gaylors, okay? This is in defense of the Gaylors. That being said, I should probably explain what Gaylor means. To start off, I don't think I really need to explain who Taylor Swift is. Everybody fucking knows her, and even more people know her now that she's with Travis Kelce. She's one of the most famous artists in the world. And even if you don't know specifically much about her, you probably at least know the lyrics to Love Story, 22, Bad Blood. She just got done with the Eras tour, which was a worldwide tour that sold out many venues. And some people were even going to that tour 5 or 6 different stops. One of the only concerts I'd personally want to go see is Taylor. Now that being said, I am not a Gaylor, I am not really a Swiftie. I like her music, but it's a very casual fan type of thing. Anyways, because of how big she is and because of how many people she reaches with her music, her fandom is full of a diverse group of people. She's also pretty mainstream, so she has an average kind of, like the average everyday person is a Taylor Swift fan too, you know? Even members of my family are Taylor Swift fans, so basically she has normie fans too. Taylor's fans are called Swifties. I'd like to consider myself slightly to the left of the Swiftie fandom. I'm into it, but I'm not super into it like I am with Alien Stage, Smosh, Pokemon, etc. I'm just on I used to be on Swiftie TikTok, so I know some stuff. Also, I just did all the freaking research for this video, so I know way more than I knew before. But yeah, Swifties are one of the biggest fandoms, I think, and they are well known, not in just fandom spaces, but in the general public. And now that Taylor is with Travis Kelce too, her fan base is starting to get bigger and bigger and fill with more people who aren't used to being in fandom spaces. One thing Swifties are known for, and I'll bring this up again, is finding Easter eggs. Taylor herself has said that she puts Easter eggs in all different types of her content.
I love, putting so much into the tour or a music video or events or activities for them to do or Easter eggs or little puzzles for them to solve. It's gotten to the point where it's just it's a little bit, people are the Easter eggs thing is getting a little Zodiac killer at this point. I'm as long as they like it, you know?
And so Swifties have been told to look for hints in songs and videos, in all that kind of stuff. So Swifties are kind of trained to look deeper into her content. This will be relevant later, but this is why Gaylor's existence doesn't shock me very much. Now, what is Gaylor? In a general sense, Gaylors are people who think that Taylor Swift is queer in some way. There's different levels of being a Gaylor, but the general idea of it is someone who believes Taylor Swift could be queer, or some of her lyrics are queer, or, you just gay lure. Some people think she's just sapphic of some kind, maybe bi, pan, etc. Other people think that she is a lesbian and that all of her relationships have been PR. There's a lot of in between there too. I think that's the lesbian with all the relationships being PR. That's kind of one far end. And then the other far end is just she's sapphic of some sort. Or she could be. For explaining purposes, I don't think I use this very much in the video, but I'm going to split Gaylors up into 2 categories. The first one being the average Gaylor, which is someone who just believes Taylor is sapphic of some sort, somewhere under the queer umbrella, and believes that she probably likes both guys and girls. And then there is the Gaylord. See the pun on Gaylor, Gaylord. Those are people who believe that she is straight up lesbian and all her relationships are PR. Either way, they believe she's queer and look into a lot of her content to find queer coding or queer messaging. I do want to say some of how the Gaylors interact with, well, actually some of how, in general, Taylor Swift fans interact with her is very, what's the word for, hold on, I have it in my script somewhere. Jesus Christ, this script. Now let me just clarify, some of, not just the Gaylors, but the Swifties in general relationship with Taylor Swift is kind of parasocial. So just keep that in mind. I'm not saying that it's not. I'm not saying that some of these things are like okay, because some of the deep diving that not only Gaylors but Swifties do is a lot. Anyways, some proof people have for Gaylor, there's like a lot of different stuff, but we're gonna start with her relationship with Karlie Kloss, a Victoria's Secret model at the time, or maybe now, I don't really know. For a while, she was Taylor's best friend. They did like everything together. And this is the first name I found when I started to research Gaylor, is Karlie Kloss. Those two had everybody speculating on whether or not they were a thing. The main theories involving Karlie Kloss are as follows. I'm reading them right off the script. They dated and then broke up right before Karlie's engagement/wedding. They are/were in a secret relationship and couldn't come out because they're managers, so they both are dating men to hide their love, or something in between those two concepts. I think that a lot of Gaylors believe different things about this relationship. Some are more extreme, some are less extreme. And I'm just gonna give you some of the stuff that I saw and that made me interested. There's a really great article I found about Taylor and Karlie, so I'm going to use some of the proofs from that in this video. Not all of them, just the ones that I found interesting. In the description, there's going to be a few things. One, this article that I'm talking about. Two, a Tumblr post that is so long that I went through and it took me the whole day to get through it. But I'll leave anything I used to create this video, I will put in the description. So the first proof of Taylor and Karlie that interested me a little bit is Taylor's lyric, you could feel it on the way home from You Are in Love, because there's a photo on Instagram of her and Karlie that says on the way home. Also involving lyrics, most of these are lyric related. I snuck through the garden gate every night that summer just to seal my fate. Means something a little different when you realize that Karlie Kloss had a garden that Taylor Swift would have to go through to meet up with her. It says, quote unquote, Karlie's West Village apartment had a garden gate entrance that Taylor would use to visit her. Also, Taylor referencing New York, which is where Karlie was, rather than her British boyfriend Joe, who was, like, in a lot of songs from that period, Taylor references New York, which is where Karlie was. Her boyfriend at the time was Joe Alwyn. Her boyfriend at the time was Joe Alwyn or something, and he was from London. Like, if she was going to reference a city based on Joe, we know it's gonna be London. I mean, so with the New York mention, people think that these songs could be about Karlie rather than Joe. This article says, quote unquote, with phrases like, you're the West Village, and I get mystified by how this city, Manhattan, screams your name. It's just so obvious to me that she's not talking about Joe. Joe screams London. Karlie lives in New York, has billboards of her face all over the city, attended classes at NYU, was the one who convinced Taylor to move to New York. I'm just saying, if anyone's name screams New York, it's certainly not Joe Alwyn. That did change my opinion a little bit. Also, Karlie lived with Taylor for a certain amount of time. I will say she had her own room in Taylor's house or whatever, which kind of goes against the theory of them being together, because wouldn't they sleep in the same bed? But, like, people can sleep in separate rooms. People can have separate rooms, even in a relationship. If I ever get in a relationship before I die, I'm going to probably have a separate room for my partner. There was a Reddit story I was reading, okay, where this guy and his boyfriend were having so much trouble at night, and then everything changed when they both had separate rooms and didn't have to deal with each other's habits at night. So sometimes 2 rooms is normal and good. And then the last thing I'm going to say about Karlie is it's interesting the fact that they are enemies now. Like, with a lot of the people Taylor has been around, she will, like, give them a happy birthday post or congratulate them on big things, but with Karlie Kloss, there's, like, nothing. Like, they are enemies, and even to the point where Karlie, is working with Scooter Braun, who is the one who kept Taylor's rights, her music rights or whatever from her. The article says that they think Karlie and her's breakup inspired a lot of lyrics from My Tears Ricochet and I Forgot You Existed, where the lyrics are about losing someone after they betray you. I, for some reason, forgot to talk about Kissgate, which is a photo of Taylor and Karlie where people think they're kissing, and it's spread on the internet, and everyone was theorizing and all that stuff. Another person frequently mentioned when talking about Gaylor theory is Dianna Agron. Yes, I pronounced that right. Dianna Agron. You may know her as Quinn from Glee. That's probably her biggest, that's how I know her. I read like 30,000 Tumblr posts just to find this small amount of information. People have dug so deeply into this friendship, relationship, whatever you want to refer to it as. It's insane. I was reading for hours to find these proofs. And the thing is, there's like a timeline of events where it's like, oh, she went to London, she went to New York, she went this place, they did this together, then they went there, there, and it's like, whoa, oh my god. So the first thing is, her and Dianna were obviously close. There's tons of fucking photos of them together. I don't know if they were as close as Taylor and Karlie. Maybe it was that Taylor had her relationship with Karlie and that was so public, she didn't want it to be public with Dianna, so they didn't look as close, but they were close. One of the biggest proofs of this relationship, is Wonderland, the song Wonderland. Now, one thing to note is that Dianna Agron's she loves Alice in Wonderland. She had a tattoo of Alice in Wonderland stuff that she removed after Wonderland was released. But she loves Alice in Wonderland. So is it that hard to understand why people think that the song Wonderland could be about Dianna Agron? Because she loves Alice in Wonderland, and then I think there's a line in it about green eyes or something like that people refer, because I guess Dianna Agron has green eyes, maybe. I may be wrong on that. Even Dianna Agron's Tumblr was Alice in Wonderland based. Like, that's how deeply it was ingrained into her. So what makes me suspicious is what causes someone to, for something they like loved so much, to get the tattoo like removed of it. Does she not like it anymore? Does it hold too many memories? I don't know. Even for me, I have tattoos from when I was like 16. Like, my first tattoo is I'm gonna try not to flip you off, was this one, the freaking heart. And it looks so bad, but I'm not gonna get it removed. It was part of my past. I mean, everybody's different though, and everybody wants different things on the body, and do whatever you want with your body. Okay, then Holy Ground, the song Holy Ground, has a lyric where it goes, left a note on the door with a joke we'd made. And then there's an old photo of Taylor writing some absurd joke on Dianna Agron's bathroom door. I guess Dianna had this one specific bathroom door that she had everybody sign and write on and stuff like that. So there's a photo, and it shows Taylor Swift's note, and it's some absurd thing that I don't remember, but it looks as though it's an inside joke, so it kind of matches up with those lyrics. Also, someone said Dianna Agron means holy ground, basically. I looked it up. At first, I by mistake spelled her last name wrong, so I was like, wait, they're lying about this. This isn't true. But then I looked it up, the correct spelling, and no, they were right. So, Dianna means divine or heavenly, and Agron means field or land. So, there's also some slip-ups from this time in both of their careers. There's one specific thing where Taylor says, I brought this to my girlfriend's house. And it's totally possible she means that like as a friend who is a girl. But there's also the possibility, there's also the read of that situation where she's talking about her girlfriend.
Showed up at my girlfriend's apartment and she was like, oh, hey, what are all those boxes that you brought? and it was a bunch of stuff to decorate her apartment, and she didn't have an empty apartment anymore.
She liked it.
Like, she was fine with it. She was like, I wasn't going to do anything with my,
I want to kiss a girl.
No, I've kissed girls before. It's fun.
Oh, wait.
Also, unrelated to Dianna or Karlie, there's a post, I'm going to put it on the video, where this one person who works with Taylor Swift said that they like working with queer women when they were talking about Taylor Swift. It was interesting.
You're not gonna have that conversation with Taylor Swift?
No.
Okay.
I like women, and particularly gay women.
Yeah. Yeah. Is she gay?
No, but I work a lot with T and Sarah. And
Okay.
so
I was like, well, but do we have a breaking story here?
It's the one thing that actually made me kind of do a double take where I was like, oh, I get the Gaylor thing now. I kind of get it. Let me just say this about everything. Everything I say could just be a coincidence, could be Gaylors looking into things too much. I'm saying these are the facts that made me kind of like, oh, huh. But back to the point. I'm not here to convince you that Taylor Swift is queer. That's not the point of this video. Taylor Swift being queer, or possibly being queer, or the queerness in Taylor Swift's life, whatever, that's not what this video is about, per se. That's just kind of a preface to what we're actually going to be talking about, okay? I'm not a Gaylor myself, but I mostly want to talk about the perception people have of Gaylors online, because the whole thing that inspired this video was that people were making fun of and, like, mocking Gaylors over them being upset that Taylor Swift was getting married to a man. I watched a bunch of Gaylor videos on YouTube before creating this video, and I don't think any of them were, well, there was like one or two that were nice and made with like actual genuine curiosity and stuff like that, but some of them that I watched, it just felt so much like they were just mocking them. If you're going into this to make a video essay, why aren't you going in with an open mind? Why are you assuming, like they brought up proofs. They brought up all the stupidest ones that don't make sense, that you can poke holes in. I mean, everyone you could probably poke a hole in somehow, but, like, if you're going to make a video about a topic, kind of get into both sides. I don't think it's, like, really fair to the Gaylors that these people are making these videos about them and not, like, actually looking into it rather than just mocking them, you know? But I wanted to make a fair video, or the fairest video I found possible. Thus, I gave you the proofs that felt the most believable to me, personally. So, anyways, I want to discuss how people view Gaylors online, which obviously is not the best. I mean, there sure are some Gaylors, usually in our Gaylord tier, that go a bit far. But I mean, to be fair, in like every fandom, there are people who go too far in different ways, depending on the fandom. Like, there's a bad part in literally every single fandom. It's just, it presents itself differently for whatever fandom it is, because the way a person's going to be negative in an anime fandom is going to be different than the way someone's going to be negative in a real person's fandom. Because with anime and stuff, you can't, well, you can be a little parasocial with the author, but it's different than being parasocial with the person you're actually, like, interested in, you know? Like, the person who is what the fandom's about. But yeah, for some reason, I see people only looking at the bad when it comes to Gaylors. Online, people call Gaylors delusional, they mock them, they almost, like, pray for their downfall. I saw someone praying that Taylor Swift was straight just to mock the Gaylors, which is weird, but, I'm gonna be 100% honest here, and this may get me shit. I think some of the hate for Gaylors is based in misogyny and homophobia or lesbophobia. Most of the Gaylors are queer women who just want to see themselves in Taylor's lyrics. They want Wonderland to be about Dianna because they want to interpret the lyrics in a way that feels relatable to them. Lyrics like, and I quote, "So we went on our way, two in love to think straight. You could hear a hairpin drop. Shade never made anybody less gay. Your braids like a pattern. Love you to the moon, to the Saturn. Passed down like folk songs. The love lasts so long." And then I can't decide if it's a choice. All of Treacherous can be read using a queer lens. And lyrics like those, I don't know if inherently is the right word, but they are queer even if they weren't meant to be queer. It just depends on how you read them. Yeah, Treacherous is just so fucking gay, dude. The Gaylors are primarily two different minorities, queer and women. I could go on a rant about how the general public views feminine interests. In this case, Taylor Swift's music is a feminine interest. Romance in general is seen as a feminine interest. Whenever I say feminine or masculine, pretend I am just air quoting them because I hate those two words. Just look at how people treated Twilight fans, Justin Bieber fans, boy band fans. Even, I think that's what started the word fangirl, is like boy band fans, but don't hold me to that. Like if something inherently feminine becomes popular, it's always mocked. Literally a few years back, I made a video about this, but people review bombed Fruits Basket, a shoujo anime, because they did not want it to be number 1 on my anime list. There is no way you could tell me that is not related to misogyny. That people are so upset that a feminine anime, a female-oriented anime, or one that's created for girls, is like the number 1. They can't handle that with their fragile little egos, so they have to downvote the series without knowing anything about it. Crazy to me. But just look at the difference between how people treat sports fans and like romance fans. Or a more niche example, look at the difference between power scalers, or people who look into like the mechanics of an anime, like the powers of an anime, compared to shipping. There's a viral clip going around with Cutie Cinderella where she kind of snaps at the people she does a podcast with because of how they treat her when talking about Taylor Swift. I'm just gonna play the clip, but
I don't like talking about Taylor Swift with you guys. I'm not even kidding. I don't like it. I don't enjoy it.
We asked you about the biggest news in America, which is her engagement.
You guys are infuriating. So it's not like, oh, how exciting! What flowers is she gonna have? You're like, oh my God, Kitty, did you shit yourself? Did you shit in your little pretty pants? You stupid little bitch that loves Taylor Swift. Did you drink your pumpkin spice latte and kick your stupid little Ugg boots in the air? You dumb little fucking cunt. Is that what you say to me?
Taylor Swift's music is seen as feminine mostly because it is about romance. Romance in general is seen as feminine, or at least seen as more feminine than masculine, which also kind of explains why men suck at romance. But moving on. You don't see people shit on sports fans the same way you see people shit on like Taylor Swift fans. Sports fans are fucking nuts, okay? They bet huge amounts of money on sports. They go with like their whole body painted to games, and yet it's viewed as weird to cosplay, but not to dress up for a sports team. Anyways, and sports fans, I've literally seen so many sports fans break shit when they lose money, or break shit when the team loses. Like, I saw someone fucking smash a TV and I've not been able to stop thinking about that, because like when a girl like dislikes an anime character or something, and no, I saw a girl burn a page of a manga and people like were on her ass, but no one is on these man's asses when they like break shit and they go insane, and it's scary, but sports fans scare me. I don't know, but do you see where I'm going with this? Okay, people are more likely to shit on Gaylors because not only is it a feminine interest, but it's queer. So you add on internalized homophobia or just plain old fucking homophobia. It's just kind of easy to shit on people who are 2 minorities or more, you know? I don't know exactly where I'm going with this. I'm on like one of the last paragraphs, thank God. But I just saw so many people shitting on Gaylors after the whole Travis Kelce Taylor Swift engagement thing. Rather than showing them empathy or just leaving them alone, people were just mocking Gaylors, and even the ones who were not doing anything wrong. There were some who were tweeting batshit stuff, and I'm gonna say, tell them they're being batshit if they tweet stuff like that. Normal Gaylors who are like, oh, I'm sad that this happened, like, just let them be sad. Let them lick their wounds and be upset, you know? In a different way, I've been mocked about content like that. Like, it sucks. It really sucks to believe wholeheartedly something is queer, only to find out it isn't, or that all of the things that you thought were queer were just coincidences. Okay, it sucks, because I went through that. The last time, I made a whole video on why I think these 2 characters were queer, and then they ended up marrying women. So, and I got called slurs because I thought they were gay. So, and I've experienced this in multiple shonens, where the 2 main characters will be very homoerotic, and then end up marrying women, and it's like a slap in the face. I mean, it's less of a slap in the face after realizing it's happened over and over again, But like, shonen manga are getting gayer. But yeah, I can't help but empathize. I can't help but empathize with them because of that. Like, what? Even though it's something I don't particularly find interest in, I'm not going to assume anyone's sexuality or try and dig into sexuality in any way, shape, or form. There's something different about, you know, people than anime characters. But if the Gaylors are not harming anyone and just looking for queer messaging in the song lyrics so that they have something to relate to, that's 100% valid, you know? Is it really that weird to think, oh, if Taylor's asking us to look for Easter eggs, people who want to find themselves in these songs will find Easter eggs? Like, wait, this isn't script, this is off script. But it has to do with queer coding, because queer coding is a way queer people can see other queer things, like queer characters, queer lyrics, whatever. And these are things that even if Taylor did not mean to write them into the music, they are there. Like the hairpin line, I've seen people disprove that line so many times, but it's like seeing Goro Kechi as queer. If you are a queer person, you'll understand exactly why he's seen as queer. But if you're like a straight person and you think Goro is like some bro or something, what game are you playing? What game are you playing? But it's like looking at the Disney villains and seeing that they are really queer coded even without meaning to be. There's queerness everywhere, and if you are a queer person, you are more programmed to see these things than a straight cis person would be. Basically, TLDR, I feel like people need to people need to have empathy for the Gaylors, because I'm seeing a lot of hate towards them. Maybe I'm just super against harassment and mocking people, and maybe I'm oversensitive. I just wanted to make a video about this because I saw it and it pissed me off, and I didn't want to tweet about it because I don't want to get shit on Twitter without being able to express my opinion fully. Let Gaylors be, let them do their thing, and go about doing your thing. Instead of shitting on a Gaylor, you can pay $999 for me to shut up. Instead of shitting on Gaylors, go play Pokemon Emerald Legacy. Go watch a sport. Learn how to play a sport. Okay, bye. Comment, like, subscribe.